The award was smaller than I expected. A rectangular piece of glass with my name etched into it in clean capital letters, sitting on a mahogany base that caught the light when I turned it in my hands. The ceremony had been in a ballroom downtown. 200 people. A standing ovation that lasted longer than I knew what to do with. I had driven home alone, set it on my desk, and was still looking at it when the door to my office opened and my sister walked in. She was smiling. That was the first thing I noticed. The wide, practiced smile she has worn my entire life. The one that arrives a half second before the words, like a warning you only recognize afterward. "Congratulations," she said. "You must be so proud." I looked at her across my desk. Across 20 years of stolen presentations and borrowed credit and conversations that ended with my name quietly removed from things I had built. Across a lifetime of watching her shine in light I had generated and handed to her because I believed for far too long that keeping the peace was the same as keeping myself. "Thank you, Diane," I said. And I did not move. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know in the comments where you are listening from. My name is Margaret Ellison. I am 54 years old. And the award on my desk, Regional Business Leader of the Year, my name, my achievement, finally and completely mine, was the moment 20 years of silence ended. Not with a shout. With a door that I had already decided before she walked through it I was prepared to close. Diane and I are 18 months apart. She is older. In our family that meant something, a hierarchy so quietly maintained it never needed to be spoken aloud. She was the one who spoke first in rooms. The one our parents introduced to people before they remembered I was standing there. The one who learned early that confidence is its own credential, regardless of what sits behind it. I was the one who learned to work. I went into business consulting at 26, the same year Diane decided she was interested in the industry. That is not a coincidence, I recognized at the time. At the time I was simply glad to have something in common with her. A shared language, a reason to talk, a way to close the distance that had always existed between us beneath the surface of sisterhood. I brought her into my first client engagement. As support, I told myself. As a way to share something I was building. She presented 3 of my slides without crediting me and received a follow-up email from the client addressed to her alone. I told myself it was an oversight. I told myself that 11 more times over the following decade. 11 distinct moments where my research became her insight. My frameworks became her methodology, my late nights became her morning presentations delivered with the easy confidence of someone who had not spent the previous week building what she was about to take apart and reassemble under her own name. The clients liked her. She is likable. She moves through rooms the way certain people do, as though the room rearranged itself for her arrival. I do not have that quality. What I have is different. I have the kind of mind that sees the structure beneath things, that builds the argument before the presentation exists, that knows which question to ask 3 steps before anyone else realizes a question is needed. For 20 years I watched Diane deliver answers I had given her and receive credit I had earned. And I said nothing. Because she was my sister. Because family. Because the cost of the confrontation felt higher than the cost of the silence. I was wrong about that. Silence has its own cost. It compounds. The award nomination came through a client I had worked with independently, deliberately independently, which was a choice I had made 3 years earlier when I finally, quietly, stopped bringing Diane into my engagements. She had noticed. She had asked twice why I was being distant. I had said I was busy. She had accepted this the way people accept explanations that confirm what they want to believe. The nomination required a portfolio submission. 12 years of documented work. Client outcomes, project records, methodology papers I had published under my own name. I spent 3 weeks assembling it with the particular care of someone who understands that documentation is not bureaucracy. It is armor. When the committee called to tell me I had won, I sat in my car in a parking garage for 6 minutes before I trusted myself to drive. I did not call Diane. I called my daughter. Then my closest colleague. Then I sat with it alone for a while, the way you sit with things that belong entirely to you. The ceremony was on a Thursday. I did not tell Diane until the Wednesday before, which gave her enough time to attend if she chose to and not enough time to insert herself into the preparation. She did not attend. She walked into my office the following Monday instead, smiling with the energy of someone arriving to claim a share of something. I had thought about this moment. I want to be honest about that. I had thought about it in the 3 years since I had quietly separated our professional lives, in the months since the nomination, in the days since the award. I had thought about what I would say and what I would not say and what I owed her and what I did not. What I had decided was this: I did not owe her my anger. Anger would have given her something to respond to, something to reframe, something to make about her own feelings. I had watched her do that my entire life. Turn every confrontation into a conversation about how she was being treated. I owed her the truth. Plainly. Without performance. "Congratulations," she said again, moving toward the chair across from my desk with the ease of someone who has always assumed she is welcome. "I saw the coverage online. They quoted you beautifully." "Thank you," I said. "Please don't sit down." She stopped. The smile recalibrated. "I'm sorry. I'd like to say something," I said. "And I'd like to say it while we're both standing because I think it's important that we're equal for this conversation." She looked at me the way people look when a familiar landscape has suddenly shifted. 20 years, I said. "I've been counting recently. 20 years of work I did that had your name on it. Presentations I built that you delivered. Frameworks I developed that became your methodology. Clients I sourced that became your relationships. Kept my voice level. Even the way I speak in boardrooms when the outcome matters and emotion is a liability. I let that happen because you are my sister and I believed that protecting the relationship was worth the cost." She opened her mouth. "I'm not finished," I said. She closed it. "That award has my name on it. Not because someone finally noticed me. Because I spent 3 years building a body of work that was entirely, documentably, undeniably mine. No shared credit. No borrowed frameworks. Mine." I picked up the glass award from my desk and held it for a moment, then set it back down. "I'm not asking for an apology. I'm not interested in relitigating 20 years. What I am telling you clearly and directly is that this office, this practice, and this work are mine. And that going forward I will not be sharing them." The silence that followed was different from the silences I had maintained for 2 decades. Those had been accommodating. This one had edges. Diane looked at the award. Then at me. Something moved across her face. Not guilt exactly, but the cousin of it. Recognition maybe. The specific discomfort of being seen accurately by someone you have underestimated. "Margaret. I think we're done for today," I said. She left. The door closed behind her with the quiet click of something that had been open for 20 years and was finally, simply, shut. I have not ended my relationship with my sister. I want to be clear about that because this is not a story about destruction. It is a story about correction. We see each other at family gatherings. We are civil. We are even, occasionally, warm. In the way that people are warm when they have accepted a true version of something instead of a comfortable false one. She has not asked me to collaborate again. I have not offered. What I have done is continue building. A second award nomination arrived 8 months after the first. I submitted a stronger portfolio. I did not win that one, which my daughter said was character building and which I privately found instructive. A reminder that recognition is not the point. The work is the point. The award on my desk catches the light differently depending on the time of day. In the mornings it is almost transparent. In the late afternoon it turns gold. I look at it sometimes when I am between calls or finishing a report or simply sitting with the particular quiet of a space that belongs entirely to me. My name is on it. It took 20 years and 3 years of deliberate, documented, solitary work to get there. It was worth every single day.